Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So I am going to be giving you the latest news regarding Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. Then I'm going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Jadon Sancho. Then I'm going to be talking with you a bit more about Raul Jimenez. Then I'm going to be talking with you a bit more about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So the news is on Kalidou Koulibaly. According to the Napoli president, he has officially set Kalidou Koulibaly's price, and Napoli are not willing to let Kalidou Koulibaly go for less than £81 million. So Napoli have said that they want £81 million. Don't forget, Napoli have recently signed Victor Osimhen for £45 million from Lille. Now, we've been relentlessly linked with Kalidou Koulibaly. I think we first expressed our interest in him, was it last season or the season before? We're not the only club that are in for Kalidou Koulibaly. Also, too, Manchester City are interested in him. Also, too, Liverpool are interested in him. Because obviously, Kalidou Koulibaly alongside Virgil van Dijk in Liverpool's team would just absolutely be fantastic from a Liverpool perspective. But this £81 million figure obviously would make Kalidou Koulibaly the most expensive centre-half in the world, because the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment is Harry Maguire, because obviously we did pay £80 million for him. But I'd love Kalidou Koulibaly to play alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. I think we've had a few bids turned down for Kalidou Koulibaly before, but actually Napoli have lowered their asking price. He's been a long servant at Napoli, Kalidou Koulibaly, because this has been his 6th season with Napoli. I think he has made over 200 appearances in all competitions. He has still got a contract with Napoli until 2023. Napoli got him for next to nothing. I think they paid just over £6 million for him from Genk. Obviously, before he was at Genk, he was at Metz. And I think he's Kalidou Koulibaly now, is he 29 or 30 years of age. He is, in the top 5 as, one of the best. He's in the top 5 as being regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League as yet, but if Kalidou Koulibaly came to the Premier League, I think, he would exceed expectations and that. But there has been a few centre-halves on our agenda, despite the fact that we have got 7 centre-halves in the team, because quite clearly, Victor Lindelof is not on Harry Maguire's level. Eric Bailly, of course, is always injured, so we do need a centre-half. You already know the news regarding Gabriel Magalhaes from Lille. He's going to make a decision on his future in the coming days. As you all know, recently his representatives have been in the UK to negotiate a move. Obviously, Gabriel Magalhaes is a much cheaper solution than Kalidou Koulibaly because he's available in the £20-odd million range. Don't forget, we've also been in for Tyrone Mings from Aston Villa. So anyway, that's the latest news regarding Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. Now, let's delve into the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So, reportedly, Borussia Dortmund have told Manchester United to pay £108 million for Sancho before the 10th of August. If we don't get him before the 10th of August, then Borussia Dortmund have said that the deal is off. And throughout the course of this transfer saga with Jadon Sancho, Borussia Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation. They have said several times that they want over £100 million. We've said several times we are not willing to pay what Borussia Dortmund are demanding. Now, it came out most recent saying that Manchester United agreed an initial £60 million fee with Dortmund for Sancho. Obviously, it said there'd be add-ons included. I think there'd be add-ons of around £30 or £40 million. Obviously, based on how Man United progress in the Premier League and progress in the Champions League, and based on Jadon Sancho's appearances. But also, too, reports came out earlier on this week from the German press saying that allegedly Man United had an £89 million bid turned down for Sancho, but we actually denied this. But Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target. Now we have got qualification for the Champions League. We've got much greater chance of getting Jadon Sancho on the board. If we hadn't got Champions League qualification, then I don't think we'd have had any chance of getting Sancho on the board. We've already confirmed that we will give him the number 7 shirt, because we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, and like I've mentioned before, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. It's also confirmed that Jadon Sancho visited our Carrington training ground during his time at Manchester City. Because obviously, we tried to get Jadon Sancho when he was at Manchester City. Jadon Sancho did endure, 2 years with Manchester City, but Sancho had to leave Manchester City because he did not get assured any first team opportunities. Obviously, Dortmund paid 8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. He spent 3 years so far in Germany. Analysed his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund. His valuation has persistently grown. And Sancho has still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. And I think at the moment he's on around 190 grand a week. Don't forget Michael Zorg, the Borussia Dortmund director. He came out and said that he hopes Jadon Sancho remains at Dortmund for next season. But I'll reiterate what I've said before. It's Borussia Dortmund's asking price that seems to be the stumbling block. It did report out quite a few weeks ago saying that Sancho's already agreed personal terms with Man United, and it said he agreed a contract worth around £140,000 a week. It also came out back in February saying that Jadon Sancho had agreed almost every little detail of a move to Manchester United. But we know that Fabrizio Romano's spoken about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga a few times. Christian Falk spoken about it the other week. Also too, Simon Stone from the BBC spoken about it. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants this deal wrapped up for Sancho as soon as possible. He really, really does. But like I said, Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling football club because they have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. There's also players that have let go who didn't go to the Premier League. But look at the players they've let go. They let the likes of Aubameyang go a few years ago. They let Christian Pulisic go. They let Ilkay Gundogan go. They let Mkhitaryan go. They let Shinji Kagawa go at one point. They let Ousmane Dembele go. They also let Matt Hummels go. But to be fair, Borussia Dortmund have recruited quite a few players in recent years. They got Jude Bellingham the other week from Birmingham. They got Erling Haaland back in January. There were 2 players that Manchester United missed out on, by the way. Obviously, there's other players they've brought in recent years. Julian Brandt, Thorgan Hazard, Emre Can. But we need to get this deal finalised for Jadon Sancho. Kicker recently reported, which I think is a German outlet, and they said that Sancho's preference is a move to Liverpool over Manchester United. It did recently say that Sancho was on a private jet after he did make that admission regarding Liverpool, and he put a photo on social media of him and Marcus Rashford. When they was on England duty. And I've already outlined the reasons why I want Sancho at the football club. Well proven in the Premier League. Also got a very, very good friendship with Rashford. Predominantly a right winner, and Man United do want a right winner. Obviously, if we do get Sancho in, then I think, Mason Greenwood will have to operate in a different role. And I can assure we will loan Daniel James out if we do get Jadon Sancho on the board. We have looked at quite a few alternatives to Sancho because he's cheaper solutions than him. Yeah, but definitely more news, we'll update on Sancho probably later on today or tomorrow. But there you go. But Borussia Dortmund have actually come to accept the fact that, he does want to leave. So obviously, they've been looking at replacements. They've been looking at Memphis Depay recently from Lyon. They've been looking at Jonathan Ecourt from Lille. They've looked at Rashica from Werder Bremen. But yeah. Now, let's delve into the news on Raul Jimenez from Wolves. So, Raul Jimenez has revealed his preference. He's happy to remain at Wolves. There was reports coming from the Portuguese press earlier on this week saying that Raul Jimenez was on his way to Manchester United, because it said that Wolves had found their replacement for Raul Jimenez. It says they've agreed to get Paulinho from Braga for around £27 million. And as you all know, Jorge Mendes has been working close to Wolves, for a while now. He's been very, very close to Wolves, and he's been in the process of trying to find Wolves at replacement. But we've actually denied that Raul Jimenez has agreed a move to Manchester United. It did recently say that Juventus had submitted around a £72 million bid. I know how much Raul Jimenez would cost. He'd probably cost from between 60 to 70 million pounds. That's how much he would cost. And I'd love Raul Jimenez at Manchester United because he is well proven in the Premier League. His hold-up play is very, very good. He's a prolific goal scorer. And obviously, Man United are in search for a striker. Wolves did get Raul Jimenez permanently last year. Obviously, they got him for around, £34 million. I think he is Wolves' most expensive signing. Raul Jimenez has got a contract with Wolves until 2023. But he did really, really well on his loan spell last year with Wolves, did Raul Jimenez. And he's done very, very, very well for Wolves. He obviously, helped them finish 7th in the Premier League. And, he does well, does Raul Jimenez, alongside the likes of Diego Jota and Adama Traore, in their attacking line. But before he was at Wolves, he was at Benfica. Enjoyed a few years with Benfica, weren't too good. Before then, he was at Atletico Madrid. And before then, he was in America's youth system. And he is now the age of 29. But I'm probably now very, very sceptical that we are going to get Raul Jimenez on the board. We've been in for him before, Duncan Castle's spoken about the transfer saga regarding Raul Jimenez a while back, and, he confirmed that Man United and Juventus are interested in the player. But there you go. So I think he's happy to remain at Wolves, but, Wolves said if he wants to leave, they are willing to let him go as long as their asking price is met. But I think we do need a striker, despite the fact that we have got a lot of good attacking players. Obviously, you've got Martial, he's been in scintillating form this season for the club. This has been Martial's 5th season at Manchester United. So he's been long servant. We got Martial for £36 million from Monaco back in 2015. Martial's enjoyed 2 good years out of the 5 years he's been here, because he's done very, very well this season under Solskjaer and did well in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. And he has been playing in that central role this season as Martial. But obviously, if we do sign the number 9, then obviously, we'll have to figure out, what we're going to do with Anthony Martial. Martial scored 22 goals in all competitions this season, and he scored 51 goals in the Premier League for Man United. Don't forget, scored a hat-trick in our 3-0 win against Sheffield United. That was his first senior hat-trick for the club, and he became the first Manchester United player to score a hat-trick for the club since Robin van Persie back in 2012, was it? Marcus Rashford, I haven't really had a perception on him throughout the course of the season, like I said before, because Rashford didn't make an impact at the start of the season, and I thought, towards the end of the season, he didn't really make an impact. But obviously, he was out for a few months, obviously, with that back injury. Throughout the course of this season, Marcus Rashford has been playing out wide. But I still think he's the foreseeable future for Man United. Mason Greenwood, I think he's enjoyed a very, very good season for the football club. Obviously for the first part of the season and, the midway point in the season, that, a lot of Mason Greenwood's appearances were coming from the bench. But towards the end of the season, Mason Greenwood was getting a lot of starts. Greenwood did score 17 goals for us in all competitions this season. And he's definitely the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Obviously, we did bring a striker in on January deadline day. We recommended Odi Nagalo into the football club. We did get him on loan. The main explanation why we got him in, because, we needed to cover up to Marcus Rashford, because at that point we got a Gala win. Marcus Rashford was out with that back injury. I think Igalo's done very, very well for us. Obviously, now his starts will be limited at the football club. Don't forget, Igalo was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup. Don't forget, I think it was just before the resumption of the season, Man United had extended Odion Igalo's loan until January 2021. Don't forget, with no option to buy Igalo, or there is no obligation to buy, so at the end of the loan, I presume he'll probably go back to Shanghai Shenhua. Will Odion Igalo, so yeah. But I still think we need another striker in there, so Martial can face competition. So yeah, so that is the latest on the transfers. Let me just give you a bit of news now regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer do a Alex Ferguson at Manchester United? Now, what I've said to you before is that I'm sceptical that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will replicate Ferguson's legacy at the club. And I said I don't think he'll last as long as Alex Ferguson did. But I still think, we can get back being competitive of how he was under Alex Ferguson, because obviously, Ferguson endured, a good 26, 27 years at Manchester United. Obviously, he had over 20 years of success. Let's put into the equation, though, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. And reflecting on that, Ferguson was very, very close to getting the sack. I think he was like one game away from getting the sack. But it didn't happen, and it's a good job he didn't get the sack, because obviously, wouldn't have had any success. Under Ferguson, we won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles. As you all know, at the moment, we are the most successful team in England, in Premier League history, because obviously, we've won the most titles. We won 20 titles, like I said, and 13 of them are Premier League titles. But we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. This has been the 7th season now, we haven't won the Premier League title and all of that. So can Solskjaer, do a Alex Ferguson in that? Obviously, Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now over a year and a half. And I think he's been permanent Manchester United manager for a good, 15 or 16 months. I think, it's a fantastic achievement for Manchester United, to get qualification for the Champions League and to finish third. Because, put into the equation, this was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the football club. And obviously, look at the position we was in earlier on in the season. The way we played earlier on in the season, you wouldn't have even thought we'd have finished in the top half of the table, because earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. I think we enjoyed our worst start to, a Premier League season for 30 years. And at that point, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. He was close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager in that. But, it's a good achievement. It really, really is. And now we have got qualification for the Champions League. We can attract players to the elite level and that. And I think we have got an extra £70 million in revenue for getting qualification for the Champions League. But I said, didn't I, even if we didn't get qualification for the Champions League, I said Solskjaer, would have still been Manchester United manager for next season, because it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while. Let's put into the equation, the vast majority of these players are not Solskjaer's. Solskjaer's inheriting players even from the Jose Mourinho era. There's still a few players even from the Van Gaal era. There's still Matty from the David Moyes era. And there's still a few players here from the Alex Ferguson era, but actually the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's and that. But we've seemed to have rejuvenated ourselves since, January. There's been an upturn in form. We are unbeaten in our last 14 Premier League games. The last time we lost was that, 2-0 home defeat to Burnley at Old Trafford back in January. And, we did go out on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions, obviously known to Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. I think I've seen other improvements. at Manchester United. I think our recruitment has definitely improved under Solskjaer. So far, Solskjaer's made 5 signings at Manchester United, and obviously, he's made 4 permanent signings and spent around £220 million at the football club. I think he's also brought a few young players in as well. So definitely our recruitment's improved under him because, we've been criticised for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also been criticised for overpaying for players because, we have overpaid for players in recent years. So that's definitely improved. I think also too Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. The young players have been given their chances. Some of them. Like I said, throughout the course of the season, our record against the top 6 sides was very, very good because we'd taken a total of 18 or 19 points against the top 6 sides throughout the course of the season. So Solskjaer's approach to the big games have been absolutely fantastic. I've also got to credit Solskjaer because he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. Obviously, we saw Ashley Young leave the football club in January. He went to Inter Milan after he enjoyed 8.5 years at the club. Valencia left last summer after he enjoyed 10 years at Man United. We saw Chris Smalling go out on loan to Roma last summer. We saw Rojo go out on loan to Estudiantes in January. We saw Darmian leave the football club last summer. We saw Herrera leave the football club last summer. He went to PSG. We saw Fellaini leave in January 2019. He was the first player to leave under Solskjaer. We saw Lukaku go to Inter Milan last summer. And we saw Sanchez go out on loan to Inter Milan. Angel Gomez, of course, left the football club quite a few weeks ago. He hasn't gone anywhere yet. As Angel Gomez, obviously, he is a free agent. So a lot of players have left, since Solskjaer got recommended into the football club. I just want to confirm as well, I think we are set to loan 4 young players out. I think we're definitely going to be loaning James Garner out so he can get, regular first team football elsewhere because he ain't getting any chance at Man United hardly. Tahith Chon, there's a possibility chance we could loan him out because obviously, Tahith Chon isn't really getting any opportunities. Also, too, Dylan Levitt, he's another one that needs to be loaned out. I think Kovar, never heard of him. He hasn't played in our first team yet, but reportedly, he's, going to be loaned out for Man United. I think, we should consider loaning Tuan Zebe and Fosu Mensah out, because obviously, they're not getting in the team enough as well. And we're going to get rid of some players permanently in this summer transfer window. So reflecting on that, we're going to generate money that way by getting rid of, more players. We know our transfer budget for this summer transfer window has been revealed. Solskjaer has got around £140 million. He's got around £140 million to spend. But Solskjaer's already outlined his transfer plans after we got qualification for the Champions League. Solskjaer's literally told our board to go out there and get his preferred targets and that. But this summer transfer window is Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. I think Solskjaer did recently say, though, he's worried about Chelsea's, transfer plans. Because obviously, Chelsea have actually, done very, very good recruitment so far. Obviously, they got Hakim Ziyech back in February for around, 37 or 38 million. They also got Werner from RP Leipzig for around 48 million. So that's around, £80 million on 2 players. They're also looking to get Kai Havertz in from Leverkusen. And they're also looking to get Ben Chilwell in. So Chelsea could be in there with a shout for next season. Manchester City, you can say they've done pretty good business so far. They're on the brink of getting Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. It did recently say from the BBC that Manchester City had a £41 million bid accepted for Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. So he's going to be joining City. And I think he'll look good alongside Laporte in Manchester City's back line. I think they're close to getting Ferran Torres as well for around 21 million. So, City know now they'll get the players that they want because they had their 2-year Champions League ban overturned by CAS. Arsenal, I don't know if they're going to do any recruitment. Liverpool will want to make 1 or 2 signings because they're going to want to continue their dominance up Daniel Levy at Tottenham, doesn't like to spend loads of money. Are Leicester, going to make any signings and that. So, yeah. But big decisions have got to be made in this summer transfer window. But Solskjaer has said, he wants Manchester United to make at least 3 signings because he believes we need at least 3 signings to become title contenders for next season. Because I did say next season our expectations will be to challenge for the Premier League title and all of that. And Solskjaer's, definitely got to exceed these expectations. I think Ed Woodward did recently come out and say that he wants 3 signings after, we complete the signing of Jadon Sancho, because he's still areas in the squad where Manchester United are lacking. I think we're also chasing a left back. We have got 2 predominant left backs, I think, and that's obviously Luke Shaw, who's our first choice left back, and Brandon Williams. Obviously, Luke Shaw is our first choice left back, and he's been our first choice left back now for quite a while. I think Luke Shaw's had a good season for Man United. Missed the first part of the season with injury, but then when he came back, he did well. And obviously, he missed games towards the end of the season because he's had an ankle injury. Well, he still has got an ankle injury, should I say. And Luke Shaw's out for the rest of the season. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw really is that he's injury prone. Brandon Williams, I think, he's enjoyed a fantastic season for Manchester United. He really, really has. I think he scored his professional goal in the 3-3 draw with Sheffield United, did Brandon Williams and that. But, one thing Solskjaer did say, though, is that, he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. That's one thing, he did say. Obviously, you saw my previous video that I did. I give you the news regarding Sergio Romero. There's a possibility chance, that Sergio Romero could leave the football club in this summer transfer window, because Dean Henderson's going to be back at Manchester United for next season, and that means then Sergio Romero will be our third choice goalkeeper, and reflects on that, he'll probably want to leave the football club. Sergio Romero, I think this was his 5th season at Man United. We did get him on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. I think if we had to sell Romero, we'd probably demand around £5 or £6 million for him. But Sergio Romero, obviously, does play in our cup games and that. And Solskjaer's got a goalkeeping decision to make. What's going to happen for next season? Is David De Gea going to remain our number 1 goalkeeper, or is Dean Henderson, going to be our number 1? So you already know the news regarding that. Like I said, we've still got some injuries at the moment. Like I said, Luke Shaw's out with an ankle injury. Bay's recently been out with a concussion, don't forget. I think Tuan Zebe and Phil Jones are still out with injury, but I think they are our only absentees. Obviously, we've got the Europa League coming up. It is on the 5th of August. We do play Lask in the second leg. Old Trafford, we are 5-0 up from the first leg. And like I said to you, the Europa League is a priority for Manchester United, because we want to win the Europa League, because if we win the Europa League, it will be our first trophy under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and it will be our first trophy in over 3 years, because we haven't won a trophy in over 3 years, and that's the first time since the late 1980s, if I'm correct. But I think we are actually the favourites to go on now and win the Europa League. I really, really do want us to win it. Honestly, I do. But we are now into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. The Europa League quarterfinal games are on the 10th and the 11th of August. You saw my video yesterday. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think, is considering resting several key players for our Europa League games and that. Probably in the games in the Europa League, it's a chance, to give more of the youngsters, their opportunities. But I think, he definitely, will make rotation. I think in the Europa League games, Solskjaer should, start Romero and drop De Gea. Maybe give Wan-Bissaka a rest, because he's played 34 games in the Premier League this season. Harry Maguire's played all our 38 games in the Premier League this season. Maybe drop him. Bruno Fernandes, probably perhaps give him a rest as well. Maybe Pogba, give him a rest. Luke Shaw's obviously not available. Maybe give Martial a rest. Maybe possibly, give Marcus Rashford a rest. yeah, we'll give some of the fringe players their chances. You know, I can see McTominay and Fergie, you know, getting their opportunities in the Europa League as well. But yeah. So, yeah, and there's nothing much really more to say, but I still don't know if Solskjaer's the foreseeable future for Manchester United. No, time will tell. Time will tell. You know, he's our fourth permanent manager since the Ferguson era, but like I've said before, in the last 7 years, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We spent a good 900 odd million pounds on players in the last 7 years, and we've recruited a good 32, 33 players in since Ferguson left. So let's just put that into the equation. And, you know, we've also got players on big contracts at the football club, you know. But, yeah. Next season is definitely the big test for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United, and that it really, really is. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.